Oh, okay. Recording is progress. Okay. Thank you for that it's not.
Can we mute ourselves? If we have any queries or question, we can write it down on the comment box or raise your hands. Otherwise, please mute yourself.
Okay. So these are the other kinds of literacy, and I won't go into details about these for now. But in the broader umbrella term, like in media literacy, you could fit all those other types of literacy under that umbrella. For example, digital literacy is, accessing the digital platform, your devices, opening an email account, setting up your security, setting up your, data privacy, and all sort of customized things that you want to do. Data literacy is more about being able to read, interpret, and evaluate the data. Algorithm literacy is more about understanding the biases of the computer programming. News literacy is about, understanding the credibility of the news. So if you see the definition of media literacy, it's kind of all of them. They touch on that definition. So let's focus on the broader media literacy term and go from there. And in today's session, we'll just try to ask the why question as I present you some real life Facebook posts, news articles, documentary films, and all that things. And I'm glad in the last week's session you attended a session on learning gender biases. So I appreciate the lineup of this session. And after that, we are having a session on media literacy. So you already have that idea on gender, biases, and now I want you to spot those in here. So let's move forward to the next slide. I will start with an example from my real life. This is a screenshot of a documentary film called The Second. It is a screenshot of a documentary film called Sacred City by Dan Gibson, and it suggests that the holy city of Mecca is in the wrong location. So when I was watching this documentary, I was in a really vulnerable stage. I lost my mom last September. So I was trying to, find my faith and trying to learn about, Islam and all that. And that during that moment, I came across this documentary, which was saying completely different things, that the holy Mecca is in a wrong location, and the documentary was claiming that it is in Georgia, it is in Jordan, Petra. So I was like, wow, and the director, it is also a researcher who brought up all those compelling evidences, and it's very compelling, and one might easily get confused. And imagine the amount of confusion it can create if you don't ask the right question. And I was kind of like lost for a long time. I was like, what is it? And then I looked up the profile of this director, Dan Gibson, and I saw it's like totally, like, he has publications and none of them are published in a credible journal. Those are predatory journals, and then he's citing the references of those. So as an academic person, for me, it was easy to spot these, right? Because I need to go through these journals, and the impact factor, I know where to look at for finding good research. But for other people who are not, who do not have to deal with this journal and all this research world, they would be like, wow, this is true. And that would make a great confusion. And this is a kind of confusion that could kind of shake the Islamic values, right? Because this is a center for us. But then this is one example of how we are, sharing things that could create chaos. Now, moving to the next slides, it's another example. Yeah, I see someone else has watched this documentary too, and he deliberately avoided the location of, yeah, exactly. So those who have watched this documentary might be able to make those, critical evaluation. But if you are not watching it with a critical eye, then it could be very much kind of traumatizing, and because it shakes your belief system. Anyways, here, moving to the next photo. This is called Arch Rock. But if you look up, you would see that this rock is known as the Shizda rock, because it's kind of in a position where you are like, when we go on, we are on the Shizda position. That's how it looks like. And on Facebook post, it says that this is facing the Qibla. And my brother, he sent me this photo and asked, like, it looks like this is in Oregon. By the way, I'm based in Oregon in the US. So this place is not very far from here. It's just an hour away from my place. And I often go there, and I have never looked at it in that way. So he was like, because after losing my mom, he also got really very, very religious. And he was also believing everything Islamic coming to his way. So he was like, this is amazing. And to me, I was like, okay, our geography is changing all the time because of the, it's never the same. The world changed, and world is changing every time, every day, every single day. So even if it gets into a shape that looks like something religiously significant, what does that even mean? Like, it could change, it could be a coincidental event, but it doesn't mean anything, right? Now, we often see things like people found a piece of meat where it's written Allah, name of Allah, like Allahu or something like that, or they found a tree which is shaped like Allahu, or the alphabet, the Arabic alphabet, and all those. So I don't know, I would like to hear your experiences, if you have come across any kind of Facebook post or even a physical object that that talks about this kind of Islamic values, or something that just naturally found in a rock or in a piece of meat or something like that. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but the thing is, like, the whole world, it's created, it's a creation, right? It could be, it's every piece in there might have this this significance, but it doesn't have to be in a Facebook post. And then they say, if you share it with 100 people, then you will get this many nekis or these many rewards. So and then we start sharing these things, and in that process, some are not really harmful, but some are really harmful because they kind of reinforces misconception, reinforces misleading things. So so we as an educated media consumer, we have to kind of understand these things and ask the right questions. I see a message, we perceive things the way we want to see it based on our current state of mind. Yeah, thank you. In the next slides, in the upcoming slides, we're gonna talk about our own biases. And that's when we will know why we see things and how we are unknowingly, contribute to those biases and make it even stronger, or contribute to those stereotypes and make them even stronger. Now, here are a list of questions that we should ask, like who created this, why did they make it, who is the message for, what techniques are being used to make this message credible or believable, and what details were left out and why, and how did the message make you feel. Now, I'm sure we don't browse internet with this set of questions and like ask these questions. So it's not something that we carry with ourselves, but our brain should be in autopilot mode that trigger, like that automatically, questions whatever you see. It should become a second nature. You don't have to do actively anything. It should just come to your mind, and that's what we will be practicing today. So by now you should have an idea of what media literacy is and what are the questions that you should ask. Easy, right? Okay, I wish it was that easy. Just a second. So here is why it is not easy. It is the media and our mind. So all the media platforms we see, all the media content we see, it's created by human, it's consumed by human. So research already found or identified our inherent biases. So we have these biases, and then we have our media system. And since both are created, like media is created by human beings, they know these biases and they try to exploit those biases and try to create content in a way that kind of like attract us and then make us do things that we probably, if we are in sane mind or if we are being intentional, we probably don't want to do. And so moving to the next slides, let's start with the media system and then I'll go to the biases. Now, when something is free, you are the product. You just have to accept it. If you are on Facebook, if you are on a website reading an article, you might think that it's free article, but it's never free. There are always pop-up ads, there are animation, there are links. Links are the devil. They just want you to click on those because that's how they get all of your information. There are web cookies that collects your digital footprints. There are device identifier that collects your IP address. And then there are behavior modeling bots. There are machine learning, all these things just, making your profile and understanding your lifestyle and your biases and trying to create or feed you media content that kind of, fits into your bias. So again, whenever something is free, then you are the product. And if you notice any of these things, any of these things that I have listed here, pop-up ads, animation, links, web cookies, just remember, these are just another tool for making money. It's all about money. Now, moving to the next slide. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I'm seeing there are some comments, and I just to check if there is any questions. I was trying to read. So this slide. Okay. So speaking of the money, so who has the money, right? Who has the money? Of course, rich people. Duh. What's new in here? Now, who are these rich people? Right? Who are these rich people? As of now, these rich people are mostly male. In the West, mostly white male. This media industry is male dominant. So when they are kind of on the top and controlling things and trying to design things to make even more money, they are shaping the, you know, the culture, the race, ethnicity, age, gender, however the business world want to make it, and so that they can sell things through the media platform. Now, when they are trying to create an image of things and our brain is picking that up, it's like we are permanently creating an image in our head, and that's probably a representation that is not socially very much helpful. That's probably, again, strengthening the stereotypes, gender biases, and all that racial issues and stuff. Because again, these people are the privileged one who are not aware of their privileges, perhaps, and they are trying to make things that they think are good for them. Now, moving to the next slide. Here is an example. So this is a meme, and I want you to look at this and want you to see, ask the question that I listed on the left. What do you think? Who created this? And answer in the chat box, like, do you think it's created by a woman? Like, do you think so? This is such a, like, opening a door for a woman is such a nice gesture. It's such a sweet thing, right? It's not because the woman is weak that that woman cannot open the door, right? It's a very sweet gesture. But when you share these kind of things on the web, you are just making a thing ugly, and you are making a fun of it, and then you are sharing things, and in a subtle way it is kind of affecting your perception. If I say, if this person makes a statement, it's not that it's making you weaker or anything, but it's a subtle play. It's a subtle play, and we keep seeing memes and things that kind of weakens the woman and weakens minority groups and all those people who are not in the privileged position. So let's see. The words chosen while sharing things are very important. Choice of diction. Yes, I see some messages. Yes. So let's answer this question. Let's go through these and write down your answers in the chat box. Like, who created? Why did they make it? Like, it's not that they made it for money, but again, it came from a Facebook page, right? And that Facebook page, of course, wants more followers. And what would they do with the followers? Why do we need followers? Sometimes, well, for good purposes, like for non-profit organizations that are not for business, right? Like, of course, there are good cause. I'm not saying that we don't have anything on Facebook that is not supporting a good cause, but what I'm saying is the world that is controlled by the business industries, because with Facebook, every TV channels, every newspaper, it's owned by a business. So So I'm talking about the ownership. I'm not talking about the people who are in that platform, because we all are in that platform, but we have to understand the people who are running it. So I'm talking about those. So someone said, I think it's made by either a man or a woman who is being sarcastic. Yes, it could be made by a woman who is being sarcastic. So what's happening with this sarcasm? If we look at it, it might not look like something really harmful, right? It's not a scam, at least, trying to make money out of you. But it's just there. And there are thousands of memes like this out there, and we share it without knowing that these are contributing to the stereotypes. I see another comment, probably created by a man or woman who was trying to be funny or sarcastic, or simply try to put their frustrations, being annoyed by the expectation of doing something continuously. Could be. I see more messages coming. Let's say it's created by person, that they were created the meme for the purpose of entertainment. Yes. So purpose of entertainment, from frustration, for probably having some, for creating a post to have it on their page. And there could be many other reasons, but my point is, again, what we do, like in a very light manner, could make a bigger impact on an area that we are trying to fix, right? We don't want to do this, something like that. There is a comment from, let's see, I am not sure of the gender, but I believe it was posted to provide entertainment, but ended up becoming extremely insensitive and stereotypical of the perception. And yeah, exactly. So we'll not stick to it for long, but you got an idea. Like, this is not something, a serious topic or anything. It's just for fun, but how insensitive it is, and how these type of things could change our views because of our inherent biases. Now, moving to the next slides, which is relevant after this. Let's move to the next slide, Rupa. So now we'll talk about okay, you skipped the slides, but anyways, basically now we'll go through some inherent biases that we have. And there are many, but I would like to go through the three main biases, and because I don't want to overload you with information, but I really want you to know those three things. Okay, move to the next slide. This is the human, the statement I want to begin with is the nature of human mind. It has an inherent desire to connect the dots, to see the whole instead of its parts, so that it can make predictions, to take actions and survive. So our brain is always trying to make predictions, just to survive as a physical being. Even all the animals, they are also predicting all the time. We need it. We need it because otherwise we'll be dead. We blink our eyes before even before even anything hits our eyes, but we just predict that something is coming. And that keeps us alive. So that's a human nature, that we try to connect the dots. Now, from that is happening every moment. From that, here comes the biases. Moving to the next slide, Rupa. Rupa, are you there?
Yes, I'm changing. Can you see it?
Now I can see.
Or is it up again?
Okay, so the first one is the confirmation bias. So as I said, our mind, human mind, is always trying to connect the dots. So here is, in this photo, you see on the left, on the right, we have this circle, that's our belief system. On the left, we have these facts and evidences. Now, our belief system is something that is built by our experiences, our own personal experiences, that is unique to us. It's not same for everyone. And then there are the facts and evidence that's same for everyone. There are these facts. Now, when we look at things, our mind, as I said, it's trying to connect the dots, right? We'll only see the things that is aligned with our belief system, and we won't see the other things. Now, as I said, belief system is built by our personal experiences. So your system is different than mine. That's why you and I can take away completely different meanings from the same media. What you understand might not be meaningful to me. It could be completely different. Now, that means that whenever we are seeing something on social media or any other platform, they know this confirmation bias thing because human beings are creating the media content, right? So they know this bias. So they will keep showing you things that fits into your belief system. And social media rewards confirmation bias. Ellie Preiser coined this term filter bubble. Now we are in a filtered bubble because we keep seeing things that confirms our biases. The algorithm, machine learning that I mentioned earlier, it's constantly tracking your data, tracking your digital footprints, your activities, creating your profile, and showing you things that is confirming your biases. Now, what's wrong with that? Can anyone tell me? What's wrong with that? Any example? You can speak up, unmute yourself and speak up. You can write it here. What's wrong with that if it is confirming our biases? If it is always confirming our biases, then we are never unlearning the biases, right? We are never unlearning the things because it's strengthening our existing concepts. So we have to acknowledge this bias and then see the rest of the circle on the left, facts and evidence. And in that way, we'd be able to view it even more, with an objective eye. It is just to have a create different view on anything and basically fill the bias that are already created. Yeah, correct. I see someone Mehna's raised a hand. Do you wanna unmute yourself and share your comment, or if you have any question?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So hi. So I want to. I was thinking about an example, like in the television, we find some advertisement that always shows, how mother figures are portrayed. If you find some advertisement like they're always sacrificing, they're always doing this and that, and in return they're getting the reward. And all the other people in the advertisement, they're just watching, they're just giving her rewards. So repetitively, if we are watching these contents, we do not get the chance to think about the other side, like is this the right way, or do the mothers, they just don't need the appreciation, but also they need some space and some chance to live nicely. So I think I was thinking about this example.
Yeah,
when you asked.
Exactly. And that's why I titled the title of this section was like understanding and acknowledging our biases. That's the first step. When you acknowledge that, you remember that, that's when you are consciously trying to question things. And as I said, the list of questions I showed you in the beginning, we don't browse media and with that question in our hand. It should be our second nature. And I just noticed the time. I think I'm going a little slow or talking a little slow. I'll try to speed up and do some practice so that I want you all, when you leave this session, I want you all to have that thing running in your head so that next time, whenever you see something on social media that runs in your head, and it's a practice. If you can do it for 7 days, then you will generate new set of antenna that will try to detect more new things. Now, moving to the next slide. This is called the Dunning-Quaker effect. It's another bias that says that makes you feel that you know everything. It's the tendency to believe that we are a lot more knowledgeable about a subject than we actually are. And then when we acknowledge these, that we are not, there are many things we don't know, that's when you make an open mind and you start to look at things more neutral point of view. Moving to the next slide, Rupa, if you can move to the, yeah. That's the other bias. It's called the third person effect. And it comes from the previous bias I just mentioned. So when you think that you know everything, you also think that media cannot affect you. It is a perception that media messages have greater effects on other people than on themselves. So let's all together like accept this fact that we don't know everything. We are affected by the media messages same way other people are, and we only see things that helps us connect the dots. We don't get to see things from a neutral point of view. So when you remind yourself these three things, you would start to see things at least from a distance and see, oh wait, what is it? Now moving to the next slide. You can keep pressing enter button, Rupa, because because of these, like I listed a couple of things that happens to us. So we unknowingly share misleading information because we don't look at it objectively. We reinforce gender biases. Next, we compare ourselves with others, and then we bully and get bullied without knowing it. And we buy things that are probably not needed. We buy ideas that are harmful, and we become insincere citizens. And lastly, we lose sanity. Now, here, intentionally, I did not write why you should improve your media literacy skills. I want you to write one sentence, at least, to say why you should learn media literacy skill. Nurjahan, if you can move to the previous slides, the other one, go back to the previous slide. Yes. Okay. I want you to all to write at least one sentence why we should learn these skills. We could do it at the end, but just a few lines so that we know that we already understood why we need it, and how it could ensure generation equality. So if you could write a few lines, then I would just copy paste and fill up my slides probably. Or you can also unmute yourself and speak up. That's also fine.
Maybe write down in the comment box.
Yeah. However you feel like. Yep, I see. To prevent spreading misinformation, to make proper and sound decision regarding a matter. Nurjahan, if you can go back to the previous slides, that's like a list of things, and that would be helpful for everyone to phrase it, like to paraphrase it and come up with that statement, like why we need media literacy. And you can keep writing in the chat box. Improving the media skills is important, mostly to let your mind keep sane, otherwise you would be perplexed with information that can trigger our brain negatively and persuade us to harm somebody else. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah, to save yourself from the consequences of ICT Act in BD, yeah, very important one. And then to have a wider perspective on different perspective, okay, to appreciate the things people do in their way to end the gender bias, to know new updated versions of systems that are more suitable to have better emotional control. That's a very important one, to have better emotional control, because at the end of the day, it affects our mental health, and we don't consciously recognize it, but it's always playing a role in our background. And then I see there more comments, to have a wider perspective, to keep ourselves, to think it is important in media consumer, a large portion. It enables the population to understand and come up with sound decisions. Awesome, you guys are awesome. It will help us improve our cognitive, social, and emotional ties to prevent ourselves from getting scammed. Yep, because you will know why it is posted, why someone has created that information. So if we can ask this why question, does just that, it will take you one step ahead, and you will save yourself. Okay. I see lots of questions are coming to find digital resources and databases on messages and decided if it is good or bad. Okay, now I will move to the next slides. I think we got plenty of comments, and I can fill those 10 points that I listed with all these comments, and we have done that. Thank you for that. Now let's do some practicing, because at the end of the day, if I give you a lecture on media literacy, it's not going to be helpful. It's not something you learn and then you forget. It's something that you always practice every single moment whenever you are browsing your social media. And it's not that you are like, oh, I'm going to practice media literacy now. It's not like that. It should come automatically. Now let's do these three things. Here, I have chosen three types of media content. I have chosen three types of content: advertising, social media posts, and news. It's because when we are browsing or we are on Facebook, let's say, we mostly see these three kinds of content. So I'm not talking about the radio content or television. Those are also media platforms, media like TV shows, dramas, films. I'm not going to that, but let's stick to the social media platform and whatever we see in there, so that allows you more power to navigate smartly and also create media smartly. Moving to the next slide, Rupa or Nujahan, however you prefer. Okay, so this is an example of advertising. I want you to answer this question on the left, and you can answer your questions at the end of in the chat box. Okay, now tell me, who created this? Who created this? I'm not asking if it is created by a man or a woman. Of course, it is created by a business, right? To sell the product. Why did they make it? I answered it already, to sell the product. Who is the message for? People who are big in science, right? And what techniques are being used to make this message credible or believable? The technique is that there is a woman holding that measuring tape and holding her loose pants that used to be tight once upon a time, and then ever since she started taking this Medaslim meds or whatever, she started losing weight. So the technique is that, like, look how much I changed. What details were left out and why? What details are left out? Can you tell? They will never tell you that how long it will take. It will what are the products in there, and even if it is there in the packaging, you would not understand those jargons or those technical terms or the technical or the chemicals, because that's not for general population, right? And those are not here. But there is a thing called science communication. If they want to, they can break down those technical terms and jargons and make it more accessible to the general people, but they deliberately did not do it in here. And now the last question, how did the message make you feel? What is that? How did it make you feel? Like, so if you are probably, we are not the customer of this product, but let's say if it's a hair product, probably we all want beautiful hair. I should have actually added something, added a hair product probably, because that's applicable for everyone. I'm sure men and women, everyone wants probably nice hair. But again, the last question was, how did the message make you feel? It will make you feel better if you are a big size person and you see this, and then you will be like, oh, wow, it will change my body, which you don't like. That's why you want to change. And then it will make you buy these things. And then the objective of this business is achieved. So again, it's trying to tell you that you are not good enough, or your body is not good enough, and then you should try this, and this will help you. But their objective is to make you their objective is to make money. Here I have added another example. This is also an advertising, but this is more about makeup and influencer marketing. Now there is a lot of good things happening out there. And I'm glad, because of the digital journalism and citizenship, everyone is there and trying to sometimes fight bad things. But one trend is a trend I'm noticing, and I feel like young population are vulnerable to that. So when a makeup artist or an influencer trying to sell a product or trying to show this product is really good, what did you like in this case? Who created this? An influencer. Now, why did they make it? Who can answer me this question? Why did they make it? To promote the product. Why they want to promote the product? Why they want to promote the product? So that her followers buy it. So what's the benefit? Yeah, to increase the sales, better sales, to be money. Someone answered money, exactly. If you go to the core, again, is the money. Maybe this is paid promotion for her, the company earns the money and she earns the money as well. Now, there is nothing wrong in earning money, right? Everyone needs to earn money. So the way I'm saying it might sound like I'm against money or something, but of course not. What I'm trying to say is that you have to understand, when an influencer every day or every other day promoting a product and saying this had an amazing effect on their skin, how do you know that it really, the result she got is really because of that product? Because she is trying out tons of other, he or she is trying tons of other products, and it's every day they're reviewing and they're saying it's amazing, but you don't know which one is working, right? And then you feel like, oh, I want to have that glowing skin, or I want to buy that to have this sort of look, and you are trying to get it, but trying to get it by spending your money, but you are not realizing why they are talking about it. Because of course they want to increase the sale, then you are not understanding the technique are being used to make this message credible or believable, because it's not possible to have a glowing skin right after one use or two use, right? How much product one can use on someone's face? Tell me, like if you have 5 different moisturizing cream and if you have them on 5 different days, how can you tell that the end result is because of this product, right? We don't think about this. And then these details are left out. Question number 5, these details are left out. And then when sometimes they would be like, we did this look and went there and it stayed the whole day, and then you would be like, why doesn't work it on myself, on my skin? So what you are forgetting is that your job is something else. Probably you are an executive director somewhere, you are an academic, you are a student, you are not an influencer, or maybe someone who wants to make the social media pages an earning source. So when it's their business, they can spend the whole day and get the result. That's not your job or priority, and you have other things to do in life, so probably you cannot get to that point. But then you start to compare yourself with someone else, and this comparison is not fair. This is two different things. You are comparing yourself with someone that is not really on the same ground. Moving to the next post, it is about next slides, Rupa. Now this time I'm choosing a news article. Now tell me, this is a title you can see. Can you imagine how gruesome this title is? Now tell me, write it here in the chat box. Who do you think created this news article? Or why did they make it? Or who is the message for? Can you go write down, like, if you just want to, warm up your brain, and who do you think? Of course, someone. Yes, I got a comment. Anyone who desperately trying to justify their logical beliefs, and also anyone who is trying to weaken women and trying to come up with this religious statement, because we are kind of, we those who are believers, they would accept it more easily if it comes from someone authority figure. And then here it says it came from Saudi Grand Mufti Fatwa, like Saudi Grand, someone probably in a top position in that system. So they are deliberately, promoting these things. So this is a very extreme example, and there are many other news stories you would see like this, right? I see many comments. Anyone who reference which newspaper is this? Yes, I will explain usage of the practical statement in the frame. Yes, exactly. So these came in a newspaper, in a local newspaper, Sylhet Morning, and this local newspaper, we sitting here, we won't probably read, but imagine when this kind of news reaches to people in the local area, like in the villages, they would be like, wow, this is true. I can send you the link here, but if you quickly Google with this title, you would see it came in that local newspaper, and also came in the BD Morning. And then I checked it with the BD fact checker to see like who exactly said it and if there is any reference to that. And that leads to the next slide, which is very important. Move to the next slide, Rupa. And this is the big fight, because everyone is now a journalist. The big fight is that there is propaganda, misinformation, and disinformation. I don't know if you understand the difference between misinformation and disinformation. Misinformation is something that it's misleading. There are facts missing, and then you share it without knowing about it, that it is misleading. So you don't get to see the whole picture. You only see what your belief system persuades you to see. And disinformation is something that you deliberately hide that part of, hide those factual pieces. That is more intentional. This is more like propaganda, but propaganda is more for political, political propaganda is made more for political goals. But this misinformation and disinformation is basically, we as a media consumer, we often share things without having a neutral look at it, and then we knowingly or unknowingly share these things. Now, I had to introduce this big fight because in the news article I just shared, it came on a local newspaper, but again, it is probably a disinformation, because when I tried to look up like who exactly said it and what's that person's position on authority, I could not find much detail. So whoever did that is actually tried to deliberately share these kind of concepts, and there are even worse, and you probably see many examples like this. Moving to the next slides, and I want to introduce the CRAP test. It's a very easy to remember. So whenever you are doing reading a news article, if you just remember the CRAP test, so see for the timeline of the info when that was launched, like when the article was written. If it is from 1920, you don't want to probably believe in that, because world change depends on what you are looking at. And then the relevance, how the info fits your needs, and then authority, the source of the info, who wrote it. And if you click on that author, if you find more details on the person, like if he's a regular journalist or what's their credibility, and then the accuracy, reliability, and correctness of the info. So if they provide factual information, if that has sources or references to that source. So that's and the purpose, and the last question, P, the purpose, the reason the info exists, or it is the why question, like why it is written in the first place. So whenever you are reading a news article, remember you should at least go through this CRAP test. Maybe when you are reading, you don't want to do it, but if something looks fishy, do this. And before you share any content on social media, any news article, always do this CRAP test, because your sharing contributes to, your sharing is very, very much powerful. Probably you don't know, because it's a subtle way of strengthening those bias, stereotypes, and misinformation. So you have to be more intentional and more mindful when you are sharing things on social media or creating things. Now, moving to the next slides, and this is another social media post. It's called "A Majority of Archaeologists Are Women Due to Their Natural Ability to Dig Up the Past." So here, instead of the why question, I tried to do some other question, but again, it's all starts with why, like why it is posted, what's the cognitive information that is conveyed, what are the information here, the underlying feelings that are being expressed, and aesthetics, the overall precisions, and the artistry of the message, and the moral values. Now, we are already over the time limit, so I am not going to do not asking for your answers. This time I will move to the next slides, but you got the message, right? If you ask the why question again, you would know. It's similar to the other post I showed, like the one about opening the car door for a woman. So let's move to the next slides. That is on the cyberbullying, and I'm very impressed, all of you, or not all of you, but at least majority of you. I don't remember, it was 95% or 85%, you answered correctly, so you know what cyberbullying is. Now, when there is direct cyberbullying, it's you know it, right? Someone would harass you in your inbox or something like that. But when it's indirect cyberbullying, let's say someone is sharing hatred post about you indirectly, and how do you know it? Or hatred post not about you, but someone else, your colleague, your classmates, your family members. Now you know how to ask those why questions, like why this is created, what is included, what is not. And you would have an idea, like if the intention of that post. Now, if you don't understand this, and if you are still not sure, but you have some mental and physical consequences. Nurjahan, if you could move to the next slides. Yes, thank you. If you at least feel the mentally and physically, like if you feel after seeing something, if you feel upset, embarrassed, stupid, or even afraid or angry, or if you feel physically like loss of sleep or experience symptoms like stomach aches and headaches and stuff like that, you can at least know like something you have seen on the web that is bothering you, and that's also one sort of cyberbullying. It's the content kind of makes you mentally and physically upset. Probably you are bullied, and then you have to ask those questions. Now, Nurjahan, if you could move to the next slides, that would be great. So here, I see someone is drawing something on the board, and okay, that's the okay. Thank you for changing the slides. So now 80% blamed Porimone, only 16% spoke for her in social media comments, right? I guess you are all, or at least maybe you know this actress, and she was brutally bullied, right? And we unknowingly participated in that. Like we were laughing at her because she did that and that. The thing is, like, we don't have to be a part of it, right? She, as a human being, she had to go through a lot. We don't know the whole picture. We are making judgment based on our biases, right? But we are being a part of that bully. So if you click enter button key, Rupa, then it will keep showing us the things that you should do when you feel like you are bullied. Like you can report it on the platform. It doesn't have to be with you. If you see someone is bullied, then you can do that. You can help that person, and you have to be critical and ask those questions, and then and then take action. So you can talk to an adult, you can seek legal help, you can consult verified sites, you can speak up about, but remain professional. And in the next slides, I will show you an example of that professionalism, which came up to my feeds just yesterday. But whatever you do, if you are responding to a bully, make sure you take a break. You step away from it, calm down, and come up with the most professional way to respond to it. So taking a step away from it is very important. And then you can do all these things I have listed here. Now, moving to the next slides. Rupa, if you can move to the next slides here. We have these screenshots of a person was bullying one of my former colleagues. This person was like, "Hi, good morning, dear. How are you?" Do response, and hi, and then hi for consecutive 8 days probably, and then finally he wrote, and finally she wrote back to him like, "Hi, hey, what is it about?" And then that person says, "Kemon acho tumi? Lunch করেছো তুমি কোথায় job করো, my dear friend, তুমি খুব attractive ও সুন্দর," stuff like that. In this sense, it's not like super, like it could be very subtle form of bullying, and this person might claim that, "Oh, I just appreciated her beauty, I didn't say anything bad." Like he didn't, of course, say anything nasty, right? He just appreciated her beauty and found her attractive, and he just communicated that. But my friend, or my former colleague, she was mentally disturbed because this came from a person who used to be her colleague. So she felt mentally disturbed, And the last message on the top, on the right, on the bottom of the right corner, she replied, "This is extremely inappropriate for you to say. This is a professional platform and I neither appreciate nor accept such comments." There is nothing like, she didn't, it was really plain text, and she just expressed that this is not accepted. And this is one form of speaking up. So when we see these things, you don't have to be aggressive about it. You have to step back and look at things from a more neutral point of view, and then come back to it with a very professional tone. And you must discuss with an adult or professional sites, or take legal help. There are free, verified sites, you can do that, but you don't have to be very aggressive about it. Now, moving to the next slides, and after that, we are at least, no, we cannot go any further. So my learning objective here was to, and I listed it down, and I want you to make sure that you take these away with you. You learn to evaluate media content and decide whether the message makes sense, understand why certain information was included and what wasn't included, and then identify the role of the media in our culture. And as I explained all these, but these are just the point, I want to make sure that I touched on these. Next slide, Rupa, please. And then you have to learn to tackle the cyberbullying, as I mentioned, and then create media responsibly. And that's very important that you do it, understanding, acknowledging those biases and seeing it from a more neutral point of view, and become a smart consumer of products and ideas. Now, at this point, we will end the session with a poll, and I have listed down, like I have shared a couple of fake photos and real photos, and you have to identify if it is fake or not. I have also added a website, and you have to navigate that and tell me if that website is credible or not, based on what you learned in today's session. You should be able to apply your learning points to answer those questions. And let's do that, and let's practice one more time so that it stays with you. Okay. So, there are questions, and I see the photo is not there. Looks like I have to share the photo. I have a question here. Most of these news tend to come up with sometimes. Okay, there is a big comment, and I would probably discuss this later. Let's.
Do you want to share your photos? If you do, I can make you a.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's close the poll, because it's some reason it's not showing the photo, but I will just share it and see. Okay, I should have it here. Okay, here you go. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Okay. Tell me if this photo is fake or real. And this is the fun part. So it doesn't. You can send me comments on in the chat box. What do you think? Is it fake or real?
I can share the poll again, or you can share the poll.
Okay.
Is the second poll.
Yeah. It's open. Can you answer this question? The first question, is this photo fake or real? I'm not sure if it is working or not. Or we can just keep it manually, like keep it in the chat box. Okay, so
it is working. I can put.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm moving to the next photo then. What do you think? Is this photo fake or real? I'm not seeing any poll response though, but you can message me in the chat box, or okay, some are saying probably fake, probably fake. Okay. Second one is fake. First one, probably some say it's not fake. Okay. Let's move to the last one. What do you think? Is this photo fake or real? Real. Someone said real. I'm not sure. Seems fake. Okay. What do you think about this lion photo? Is it fake or real? Okay, let's since I'm not seeing the poll result, but anyways, my purpose of showing these photos is that there is something called deepfake, and you are probably aware of it. So this is these kind of things, like it's so easy to create this deepfake. So whatever you see, it's not real and it looks very real, right? So whenever if you ask those questions, and this is probably for increasing the likes or increasing the followers, and there are fun things on the internet, right? But we just have to be a little more skeptical about things when asked questions, so that we don't promote misleading information. I also added a website here. It's a fully funded scholarship, and I'll just share this link in here. I want you to check this out later. This is super duper. Wait, why is it directly? Yeah, here you go. Are you seeing any link I'm sharing? No? Everyone in the meeting. There you go. So this is another link that I wanted to add to the poll, and for some reason it's not working. And here I'm sharing another link. And I want you to look at it and see if it is a credible website. The one it sells fully funded scholarships, and it talks. And currently everyone wants to get to Canada, right? This is a trend going on back home, and they're preparing for it, and they're doing all the things they can to get to Canada. And then these are the websites that gives false hope, and they don't understand how to evaluate it critically, and then they fall victims. And you should have that critical sense to identify that this is not a credible website. And how do you know it? You go and do the CREP test. So I am not asking for your answers for now, because you have to check it out. You have to read the news, and you have to you have to browse the website, and we are over the time limit. And I don't want to take more time from you on a Saturday night. But what I want, since I shared the link, I want you to save it. I want you to save it somewhere and have a look at it later, and answer yourself if it is a credible one or not. And decide, like, if you want to share something like this with people, or on your social media platform. So again, the bottom line is that you have to be a little skeptical about things, and be really mindful that you are not strengthening those stereotypes. You have learned gender biases in your last session, and in this session you have learned how to spot those and the intention behind those. And I hope you all become more sincere citizen and more responsible and smart media consumer and producer. That's all for today. Thank you for bearing me for this long. I'll stop here. Okay. Rupa, you can go ahead and make a concluding remark if you want to. From your learning session, I encourage everyone that you make a Facebook post or social media post that gives you that power to share your knowledge, right? So I gave this to you, whatever I had, and I'm still learning. And media literacy is a skill that evolves. One cannot be enough media literate ever. It's always changing. It's always changing. There is always new things coming. So my learning point will never end because there is always something. So your job is now to share this information with others. That's how you become more responsible citizens. So I would encourage you all to share those learning points with a Facebook post, with a meme, or whatever you find you detect, and share your opinion. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Jerin. So if you guys have any queries or question, because we are almost running out of time, it's way above our estimated time. So we're gonna take the question. Do you guys have 5 minutes?
Noha, if this is okay, I would like to say a few words, please.
Yes.
You mind giving me the stage?
Let me introduce Farhana Hassan. She is our founder and CEO of Harwell.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And Ismet Jerin, I am so in awe of you. Really appreciate you being here. This is one of the most effective sessions we've had so far. And really, really thank you. I don't think that we've had enough time to cover everything. I really wish and would welcome you to come back and join us and do another longer session if possible, if free and available. So, but before you go, I would really like you to say a few words about yourself to all the students here so they understand that where you come from and the authority that you have on your topics. And what a great job you've done. So I would really appreciate that.
I don't know. I thought Nurjahan briefly introduced myself, and I was like really shy to go into detail about my profile. But so basically, I am a media researcher and a graduate student here, pursuing my doctoral degree. I also teach undergraduate students. And at Washington State University. I am currently in Oregon, but I am based in Washington State. My research focuses on how our brain processes or our human mind media content. So that's my research expertise. And then another area is that how media literacy could improve communication, cognition, and mental health. So this mental health part is way big. This was such a tight topic and I had to finish this, but I have lots more to share from my research work, but mainly academic and researchers. So, and I really enjoy sharing my research with everyone because that keeps me going. So that's briefly my background. If you have any questions, you are always welcome to reach out, and I will be more than happy to answer your questions and talk to you more. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I myself learned so much today. It's amazing. And I would love to hear more of what you have to say about everything else. Go a little bit deeper into details of the topics you covered, but great job. Thank you so much. We're really honored to have you here with us. And I'm really sorry that I couldn't be on camera, but we made it mandatory for all of our interns, brilliant interns, to be on camera and be really professionally situated. This is one of the things we are working with them, coaching them on. So this is one of the media presence that you probably cover in your research. So thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks for the time for me to talk to you guys, Nuha and everyone else. Great job. All of you did.
Great job, everyone.
Yeah, interactive session.
Yeah, I enjoyed your feedbacks, and I'm sure you had tons more to say, and I was like, and I didn't even get the chance to know you all because of the time limitation, and I was feeling guilty at the same time to holding you for this long period, but I had so many things to share. I'm sorry I had to, squeeze everything in one session, but thank you for your participation as well. Yeah, I really appreciate that.
Of course. All right, Nuhat, take it away.
All right, thank you so much, both of you. If you guys have any question, you can email me or email us. You guys know our email address. So the way we communicated, send you like our invitation. You can just reply and ask us if you guys have any question. Mention the speaker name and the topic so that we can sort it out and send it to her. And maybe she can get back to you later on with the question, which we will share with you. So apart from that, so I would like to take a screenshot of all of us right now. So do you mind to come to the camera so that we have a like proper screenshot? Otherwise, normally we are like tinted somewhere, so it doesn't look good. All right, thank you so much. I'm gonna take just few minutes, actually few seconds. Are we ready? All right. 1, 2, and 3, cheese. So we are done. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone. Thanks for the session. Jerin, I will get back to you soon.
Yeah,
and thank you, Farhana Hassanapu.
Yeah, thank you, Farhana Hassanapu as well. Yeah. You have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Thanks all. Appreciate you. Bye.